Following on from the horrendous losses suffered while playing the Alamara scenario for Combat Mission Shock Force 2, I thought it would be interesting to do some experimentation in terms of balconies to see if they can be useful or should generally just be avoided altogether. Just a quick note that this only works for modular buildings and not independent ones, and is an engine-wide feature which works in all of the titles. First things first, looking inside the editor, we can attach balconies to buildings by using Shift, Control plus click while pointing at one of the floors. Clicking on the ground floor places the balcony on all levels on that side, and then clicking on a single floor above that places the balcony on that floor only. Keep clicking on the same balcony and it will cycle through a few aesthetic looks ranging from fully enclosed to completely open. Some of the options also allow for columns or posts below and even just a single floor jutting out from the building. This works on all buildings from 2-story upwards and allows for some creative placement in taller buildings to add some variety to an otherwise very austere looking cube. So now we're going to put these balconies to the test and see how the Pixel Trooper through the game engine interacts with them. Selecting our US Rifle Squad here, we send it to the double-story building up ahead using the quick command and selecting the second floor as their destination. We are not giving them a face command to point them in a direction, just simply moving them into the building. Once they get up to the second floor, lo and behold, they immediately decide that those balconies are the most attractive part of this floor, and out they go. This time we'll stick to the quick approach to the building, but the waypoint, once they reach the second floor, will be to face back where they came from. This does seem to keep them away from the balcony, but it's not really useful. Once up there, the moment we give them a face command where we actually want them to be looking, that's right, they again select the balcony. At this point I'm running through a few more facings in different directions to see if I can discourage them from the balcony. Here it's worth noting that at a 45 degree to one of the corners, they do seem to split the team up, placing some Pixel Trooper at the windows and the rest moving onto the balcony. Trying something different here. I have given them a slow command to the middle of the building with the correct facing, hoping that if they do choose to occupy the balcony, they will do so in the prone position. They proceed to hit the ground, make their way very carefully to the other side of the building. And just as I thought we had something, the balcony gods take control of them again and they make a quick jolt outside, completely exposing themselves because they simply can't resist. Time to bring some Op 4 into the scenario. I have raised the wall opposite the building with some local Syrian infantry on the other side. The high wall means that our US Rifle Squad will only become aware of them the moment they get onto the second floor of our building. The command given here again is a simple quick to the second floor with no facing to see how they will react. As they reach the second floor, they start making some spots across the wall and put some rounds downrange, taking up a good initial position at the large window facing the enemy. But, given half a chance, a fire team is dispatched to the balcony to get a better view, and as the casualties mount, more Pixel Troopers decide to make their way outside. Results here are as expected. A head pops out above the parapet, and it's over. Trying something different now, I ignore the balcony completely and move the squad up to an introduced roof parapet, which in theory, other than the increased elevation, should have similar results to sitting on the balcony. seems to go slightly better and our squad is a little bit more effective, but we still take heavy losses and still not the outcome we're looking for. Just for funsies, how exposed can a balcony be? We're about to find out. That just looks like a bad idea. Nothing quite like ending with an RPG to the face. So how far can you get without a balcony? After the initial shock from spotting the Syrians downrange and getting up close with those windows, the Pixel Trip can take a single casualty, but quickly regroup and bring the substantial US firepower to bear with predictable results. The Syrians are systematically wiped out. So that concludes the test. Things that were noticed during the test is that balusters make a difference. That is, having a cinder block low wall on the balcony is much better than having a few thin pieces of vertical steel to hide behind. Secondly, the hunt command can be useful when entering buildings with balconies, as Pixel Trippin might be halfway up the stairs towards the second floor balcony when one of them makes a spot across the way and everyone stops what they're doing and engages. This will place some of the troops on the balcony, others on the floor above or below, and these are obviously better positions to be in. So what have we learned? Well, firstly, avoid balconies like the plague if possible, by moving Pixel Trippin into floors that have no balconies, either above or below, or different buildings just in general. If you have to fight from them, make sure you have the advantage in either firepower or, of course, the second element, placing fire on where you expect the enemy to be. To wrap this all up, I thought it a good idea to just quickly build a test map and take it for a spin to see how balconies play out. So for this little test mission we're going to run, I've just set up a very basic map. It goes from left to right linearly across the stage, east to west, this way. The objective is quite simple. We've got to move our little blue rifle platoon from here all the way to the other compound over there. In between, we've got a series of buildings, each with varying degrees of balconies, each with varying degrees of height, the way they interact between each other. And the idea here is to see how we can move linearly across past the mosque here to the compound without taking too many casualties. It goes without saying that the idea here is to not step outside of these bounds and keep all maneuvers inside this zone. Zooming in on the first half, we can see the bounds over here and here, and we can see the various buildings, 1, 2, 3, see all the balconies. Looking further to the right hand side, we can see the mosque over here. So once we clear the 4-story building over here, we can proceed and see how we take the last compound. Right, starting out quickly, we're just going to move all 3 squads up with the HQ. Few random RPGs, but too inaccurate to be effective. first building, cleared that and moved on to the first wall. So now looking at the second building, which is the first balcony. Even the Op4 units don't do too well on balcony. And then it's our turn to put some guys on this balcony overlooking the third building. Very little resistance though, so that helps. Fourth building is going to be a tougher nut to crack. Seems like it's going to be balcony to balcony. Our approach generally here is to occupy all the balconies and the ground floor and just use weight of firepower. And then we make a move onto the fourth building, where we just have to worry about that little building on the right hand side there. The mosque itself has some resistance in it. Again, trying the previous strategy of occupying all the balconies. My timing's a bit out, and the first squad to move up onto the second floor there retreats back, deciding that the roof is the best place to fall back to. This is our little strike team for that building on the right. Now we make a systematic move towards the mosque. There's a bit of a low wall again, which makes it all a bit easier. We have some surrendering unconventional forces within no time. All that remains now is the compound, the last compound. And that's going to be pretty tricky, as we have to do a side entry into it. At least we kept all our smoke grenades, and since this is the last objective, I opt to just chuck all the smoke I have out, and then we're going to do a bit of a rush in. Some of the squads fell back, but I'm just going to recall them. And so basically that's it. If you want to give this a try, I'll put a link in the description where you can download the version.